Okay, I'm going to look at commodity prices here, spot prices, and also some Forex prices too. I have them sorted by, I believe, best gainer in the last 6 months. We have sugar here. Sugar was also one for, talked about being long for this year. Sugar really hasn't had a party per se. Basically doubling from here past history as seen in sugar. Do this real quick here. Free commodity charts, nearby commodity charts, and I'll do all charts since it's 6:30 in the morning on Sunday, September 18th. All right, run through and find some softs. Rice. We talked about that yesterday. Okay, sugar. Okay. For more Research Center Inc. There's the URL up above. Okay, when I talk about party, back here to 74, 65 cents, 45 cents, like I said, could double. Here was the last one, 35. I have to go along with the trend for right now, just due to the fact that these hedge funds and the money that's out there, they can even catch somebody on the wrong side on this one too. So basically with sugar, short-term unbalanced volume is pretty high, like seen here, but this was basically a long pause. The only caveat here is a full retrace on this daily bar. Okay. So for right now, there could be a move up to 22 and 3/4, 24 cents for right now. I haven't looked at the commitment of traders report, but there's a lot of froth in here for right now, short term. Okay, so don't be shocked if you get a healthy pullback. Plus, there was a decent move on Friday too. Okay. Canadian dollar. Canadian dollar basically looks like one more. Okay, basically Canadian dollar looks to be a distribution pattern. If Canadian dollar goes higher, oil should go higher. But this, a few more days of sideways like this down here to be a pause before it goes lower. Unbalanced volume, half of it has come out. So it can stall here and move up before it rolls over. We'll use the cloud as resistance for right now. And then I'm taking this as somewhat of a pause before heading lower for now. Gasoline, a lot of unbalanced volume in there where the prices are down. I posted also the next chart will be, I'll say the top of the cloud here, 145 is going to be resistance for now. Okay. A lot of people on unbalanced volume there. And here I have the spread between heating oil and gasoline. And what it is basically long heating oil and short gasoline. This is on a daily basis. It's moved up since April, heating oil versus gasoline. Okay. But here on a bigger chart, I put on an arrow that I thought maybe there'd be some continuation of long heating oil going into this part of the season, the quote unquote heating season, but also heating oil is the derivative of diesel, which we also looked at the transports yesterday's chart. Between the pair of them here, here's your unbalanced volume. It's about halfway. We're in an indecision point here, but I figured I'd give it a shot that this broke out here and then we'd swing higher with gasoline coming down and heating oil outperforming gasoline, even to the downside, right? That works too. Both can drop, just one can't drop precipitously versus the other. Okay, here's the heating oil possibly a setup. I'm looking at this as somewhat of a flag, kind of supporting it in here into the cloud. So I'm kind of just a gut reaction here for now. Coffee, took some crap about JO, the symbol JO coming back down. Basically, we had frothiness on the unbalanced volume. Double top on here. Wouldn't mind seeing it. Actually, I wouldn't mind seeing coffee come down to the low 30s, so lose another 15 cents or so. But I'll take an 8 cents, 8 to 13, right? 8 to 13, 8 to 15 cent drop would be nice in coffee. Let's do it this way here real quick. What did I say? Somewhere between here and here. Copper, same thing. We have a lot of unbalanced volume on here. Price is there, but I'll use this as resistance, and then this was my trend lower for copper. Natural gas, okay, natural gas. Not a lot of, it hasn't peaked in unbalanced volume. The interesting thing here is that it's chopping higher on a breakout, just like we saw on the long range with sugar. Okay, and natural gas, we're moving into October, I believe is the seasonal high for it. Daily chart here. And that's how, right now, that's how I'm treating natural gas as a continuation pattern. But I've also taken somewhat, I started nibbling on D-gas as somewhat of a hedge. I'm mostly hedging for me as writing covered calls further out. Like we're working on 320 on the front end here. Okay, so it'd be like, sell a call at 320, whatever. That kind of thing, because of, let's see if I just draw something like that. Same type principle. Okay. If there is a breakout, there's usually a retest. So just like with sugar, it blasts on out. I expect some sort of retest and then continue higher. But there's, like I said, there's the unbalanced volume isn't frothy compared to, say, like sugar. Okay, here's silver. Okay, I thought possibly that Monday we might get some sort of bounce in the metals here, just on Monday. Kind of this, say the dollar pulls back for one reason or another. But I like the short side of metals now from the beginning of the year. I just think that the carry costs and interest rates, that's the bearish side of it, the cost to carry. And then there is, there may be other things. If these things are going down, not too many people can play the bearish side, the short side of things. They don't understand the concept. They all want to buy. You never hear about sell and hold. You always hear about buy and hold. Sell and hold. Let's see, sell in May and then buy back later. So you never hear much about sell and hold. How do you do that? To try to explain that one. Buy and hold. Oh, okay, I got that. Sell and hold, huh? I don't own it anymore. Out of sight, out of mind. Am I shorted this? Am I shorted this? Am I short this? Happy 6:30 in the morning on a Sunday. Look. The sun is still not up. All right. Don't look. All right. So here it is for silver. Possibly something I thought there'd be more, something say like a bounce on just one day only. This could be Sunday night. In gold, I was looking at the GLD, which will be the next video. ETNs. Okay. So that's how I'm looking at silver. Okay, next round. Okay, like crude oil. All right, so what I have is, and a note, whoops. Okay, crude oil. I broke through that one. Giving it a shot here. Now what I'm looking for here is a possibility of the downside here. Possibly that or higher. That's what I'm really shooting for. It's kind of basically how I'm looking at it. Crude oil is coming into the cloud. I'm going to treat this pattern this way. Unbalanced volume is still up here, or it's you can see how it cleaned it up. They took out the high here. There wasn't as much interest, and that's my interest. A lot of bulls got caught here. So if they puke up into here, so now we know that crude doesn't have fresh bulls. So somebody has to take the other side, either close out shorts or add to longs. And I'm leaning that way, that we get a move here in oil. And that will also help out the Fed with their interest rate policy. So once again, we're thanking the powers to be to move the markets. You know, if oil gets to 55, then there'll be no doubt, no doubt in our minds. But the marketplace is already taking care of interest rates for us. All right, so that is the crude oil. Oh, on the short side, if I have to think of the short side here, we could say 34 kind of thing. But then all of a sudden we're back to this game here. Now you're playing on a bigger picture. You have that one. I'll have to go back to a weekly. What's over here? 38, 39. What's this? 41. I think we didn't we test 41? What did we hit? No, I guess we didn't. 43, 42. We zipped into the 42s, right? 43, 43. Okay. All right. Okay. Brent oil, basically the same type of setup, except for it has more unbalanced volume in there. Okay, you have here, so it would need to get this to come down to even the halfway, it would need more of a sell-off, and then that would come down to 41. And then we'd have the old kind of channel going on here. So you can run down and then go higher this way. And on the bear side, I guess, I suppose it could come down to 37. But then once again, that doesn't take out the previous low down here. Okay. Cotton, okay. Cotton from its run up is really digesting its gained something fierce here. I mentioned to you before about cotton. That's a heck of a reversal. Okay. What do we have? Mid 658 to 60. Okay. What's this one? 56, 57. Okay, cotton here. All right. 60 cents from 77. Okay, a lot of pain in cotton. Okay, but cotton will probably get the attention of the funds again. As you can see, we came off the high here on the unbalanced volume. This was the last oversold level. I would really like to wait for an oversold level. Here's where we're at. So for it to come down here, we'd probably, I'd have to say we'd have to come down into like the 50s, and that would be a 20-cent drop. That's pretty hefty in cotton. $10,000. Okay, that would be approximately equidistance between the two here. Okay, so that's what I'd like to see, to actually put in a position, put on a position, start putting on a position here. I talked about cotton before. Cotton's a little bit rough on technicals, but it definitely has its zippity-doo-dah, zippy-ki-yay kind of thing. This is 10 grand. This is like $2 in what is that? That's 200 in ES. This move from year to year is 200 in ES, or $2 in soybeans, that kind of thing. So, all right, cotton. So I would wait for the unbalanced volume to sell off hard, and then I would establish a position. Okay, so currency here, we have the Australian dollar. I'm looking at this here, is that if commodities do come down, here's 70. Back down to that area is what I'm gonna say here. We'll use the here's pivot here. These two are pivots. Okay, these two are pivots. So I'm gonna use this cloud as support for now. It's just right underneath it here. But if it should fall, I think I'm gonna expect it to fall down to here. Same thing for the New Zealand dollar too. Here's the New Zealand dollar. Daily chart. Also, this is a nice move. This is probably a good old-fashioned top, and this is gonna be a hard slide down to there. That's how I'm looking at the New Zealand dollar. Going to be kind of painful there. They have had a good run in their stock market. We talked about that yesterday in the international exchanges video. You have both the currency and the stock market, but if one should go, they both should go in theory, right? What's this? 97, 92. So there's 300 pips down here, just even for the bulls to hold on tight. It hasn't broken yet, but this is pretty. You can see that this was a pretty good drop. The same type of deal, maybe a little bit more on the downside here, 71.20-ish area for maybe Sunday night. Okay. US dollar looks like it's on a tear, but it's only gone from here to there kind of thing. All right, so there's our dollar, top of the cloud. We have some indicators that are beginning to turn here. 2, 4, 6, 8, they're all on there. Slow stochastics. What color are you? MACD, slow stochastics, blue here. We're getting a hook here. Okay, so if that's right, yeah, okay, we're getting a hook on stochastics here. All right, it's caught me. So, plus you have the breakout here. Okay, it's top of the cloud. Basically, just start marking off your resistance points on here. For now, how I'm looking at it. So anything over 88.5, set an alarm. 88.5 should do the trick here. 87.5 you can do. Like I said, I think it's on its way to 103, 104. Okay. And Japanese yen looks like it's going to head lower this way. Whoops. That's how I'm kind of looking at the yen. So the yen goes lower, the yen gets weaker. We have some indicators rolling down here too. Take the cloud as support for now. Any break continue lower. Even a correction from the or consolidation from the move up so far, if this should continue. If the yen comes down, that means the pairs should trade higher. US dollar, so US dollar yen should go to 104 to 106 area is what I'd be aiming for. Okay, from we're at like 102.5 here. All right. Again, Swiss franc, same thing on the downside. Expect it to come down. Okay, so Swiss franc to weaken. Euro after 111, I said about 108. So I'm going to play that. Short-term support would be the cloud here. Okay, so that's how I'm looking at it. I guess in a larger picture, it's stuck in a sideways range between, say, 109 and 113, we'll say. So 400 points spread on there. And we have kind of a narrow here, just in case there's a reversal and it moves the other way. But right now, as of last week or whatever, when we talked this here, on Friday with the euro, one from here back down to like, I'm shooting for, I think, 108. I'll just say 108, 109, because that'll leave an obvious point here. Okay. All right, British pound. British pound's coming down hard on here. What you'd want to do is have a resting stop and just remember like 133, 132, 131 kind of thing. Resting stop for a reversal to go higher. I'll however they want to work this, I'll take the long side, preferably with the yen. So I'm looking for, which is about, say, 133, 132, 131. So the numbers are basically the same. Here's 133, 132, and so, but 133, 132 for the pound yen. What do we have here? Energy. At best, it's sideways. It does look like it's gonna give up some here. Remember that this will also include natural gas too. So natural gas would have to crack. BTUs are BTUs. Remember, at the end of this is a commodity. You just don't buy the milk and pour it down the drain. Whoops, I guess they do sometimes, don't they? Government cheese. How about an oversupply of what is a really good thing? An oversupply of, besides milk, dairy. Oh, I guess cheese lasts forever, but only 3% of the population can handle it, in theory. I'll have to think about that, because we do have the rice that deal. All right, so the CRB index does look like it's kind of weak. We do have seasonal pressures in the grains, but right now it looks like they're lifting their hedges, and they'll be bringing their crops to market, so we'll have harvest pressure. I'm leaning on the short side of commodities for now. From the beginning of the year, basically it's just a seasonal and the harvest type deal. I expect the dollar to go stronger, which will pressure commodities, and then basically we're waiting. In 10 days, you're going to know a lot more on this one here through September. Because remember, commodity is just like cash, and if you have your money in, say, corn, say you have $10 million in corn, you may want to pull it out of corn and put it into something else, like hogs or something, the money rotate. If it's not working for you, so what it is all of a sudden the teeter-totter begins to shake, and the whole, one side goes up, the other goes, everything gets to be readjusted. CRB, I'm leaning on the downside in that. Livestock one, getting choppy enough that I'd be interested in getting into the steak business. This is on the flip side of the commodity, okay? Most expenses are labor, but it's those fat steaks. It's those $11 steaks that you try to sell for $30. That's what I'm thinking of. So you're trying to gross $20 a plate. That's how I'm looking at it. Fat steaks. They took out the last ranch in Kingman on the real estate They're on the Kingman's on the rail line, but it's still low desert. Okay, but they did have one ranch there. I'm not sure if they did feed or whatever, but they got rid of the ranch because the real estate developers were like, oof, the smell, and that was into that. But that was like '06. That was past the top, you know, held off to the very end. We are not on the rail line. We only have one road in and out of town. Yes. All right. So I'd be interested in getting into the $30 steak business. Industrial metals, these should be pressured by the stronger dollar, but also demand on cars and homes and things of that nature. Because we're supposed to be on a buying spree on new homes here for the next 7 years. Make it affordable. Sell homes for less than, or their rate of appreciation is greater than inflation and their loan, right? Yes. Agricultural, you can see it. I'm taking this as a Bantz. Remember, cotton will probably be in this agricultural one too. So right now it's stalled right at the bottom of the cloud. I'd let it go into the cloud, but this isn't something new. This is just a bounce from something old. You have your seasonal high in like the grains and stuff, and then you have it coming on down, and you're getting a bounce. Is how I'm looking at it. The super cycle, secular bull market is over. I think Earth has peaked in population too. That should be quite the interesting deal if it has, if we're more productive, which I think we are, right? But the numbers state that we're not producing. We need to increase consumption and invest in more production. But then we end up with surplus milk. But if the Earth is peaking and we have robots, things will be minimalistic down the road. I'm just guessing. All right, so lumber, basically you draw your trend line through here. I like lumber on the pullback. Maybe get buy a bunch of trees in the middle of nowhere and wait. Okay, so the lumber situation is here and here. I kind of like it if it comes down to where we at. 232, 250, 260, somewhere in this area. I'd kind of be interested in if it kind of sneaks its way down here and then goes back up. This would be into 17 and 18, 2017 and 2018. This is the lumber. It's thin. Wow, 329 contracts. But I'd like to see it clean out and then, sharply move the old limit down deal in lumber and then get back. It's just precipitous drop. Okay. Corn, you can see corn, like I said, for your producers, sell. I don't know. I don't think you'll ever, okay, let's go on a limb here, Kev. 380, okay, I don't think you'll see 380 until 2018 or 2019, but I think you'll see 280 soon enough. So we'll say that corn goes up to about here or here, where are we at, October, and then just slides. December corn just slides. That's how I'm going to treat corn. For right now, if you're a producer, oh, look, head and shoulders. Oh, yeah, we discussed this. Need to clean that up, Kev. Clean up your mess. All right. Another commodity index, sideways to down. It's in the little, so basically, I guess we could just play the whole cloud for now. Sideways, sideways. Here's a bigger sideways. Here's a smaller side. Now we're stuck into this sideways. So we're going to get a trend develop. When it narrows and narrows and narrows, the spring energy is developing. Wheat, like wheat on I think wheat could possibly go to 420. Maybe just this kind of wave and then down. I'd like to start accumulating wheat under like 360. That kind of thing. I just put it on the radar to watch it while we wait for the North American drought to come to fruition down the road. Palladium, interesting between palladium and platinum. Palladium's kind of holding it together here. Okay, use the cloud as support. But oh, it's soybeans. Okay, so here's soybeans. Same thing, just a seasonal deal. Heck of a move, $12 to $9. I expect soybeans to come down even further. We'll say $8. Here's another dollar. That's 5,000 bucks. All right, so I'd like to maybe short 990 on the beans. Say beans go up to here and then come down to here. That's how I'd like to do beans. That's how I trade it. Platinum, okay, as we saw in palladium, palladium kind of was holding its own, but platinum is rolled on over, and this usually picks up. So I could see platinum getting down to 810 area. 810 on platinum. Zip up to palladium real quick. So if we go off the screen, platinum would have to lose 25%. What we're waiting for is some sort of, palladium is waiting for some sort of good news. Where we get a spike and sell it, and then it falls apart. That's what we're looking for. Keep your ears, I don't know what palladium is used for, but that's what we're looking for. News-driven event, like Apple. Apple is a news-driven event. Imagine all those Samsung people who can't get on an airplane. All right, palladium or platinum, we looked at that. Here's gold, same type of deal, gold. Maybe a one-day up day. Okay, so here's where our unbalanced volume got out of control, but it wasn't at the high. You can see the fat volume bar here. We're probably gonna come down to here, 1250. Well, I guess what I'm getting at is if there is a bounce up to here, maybe come down to there. That's how I'm gonna play it, but I think just gold in general is just gonna comes, it's all over with here. We need to get it oversold like this, which was here. That was that the first one, March, April? Yeah, that was the interesting one, where they cleaned themselves out in a short period of time. What's at $100, cleaned themselves out, went back in, got frothy up in here before the high. So this is gonna have to slide out. I think the dollar's gonna be an issue here if this thing just continues to tear the dollar. Like I said, I'd watch the pound and the yen, and then the US dollar yen. And I guess US CAD, right? And I guess US Swiss franc. Oh no, it's just everything US, maybe, except for maybe Mexico and South Africa. I have to watch those oddball ones, because if Mexico unwinds, the peso should unwind too, right? Just like the New Zealand dollar. Okay, so those are those. All right, clear that off. Precious metals, looks like it's just going to slide. We use the cloud, but that's a new low. You could use it as a head and shoulders top. And I just think it's just going to come sliding that way. Cocoa prices fade the rally here, short it, and then let it continue lower. You can see it coming down. I'll have to change these to weekly. So that's the end of that story. Once again, we'll go look at sugar real quick. And remember, if there's a full reversal on here, okay, we also saw another one, I believe it's gasoline, that possibly swinging that way. Let's take a look here. Setup. Here it is, natural gas, excuse me, natural gas, not heating oil, okay, or gasoline. All right, so the same thing that we saw with sugar, okay, so blast on through on natural gas. But the thing is like with the sugars, be careful of, what I need to do is take a picture of this here. Take a picture of that one. And take a picture of this one. And there we go. I'll have a before and after. For those of you who watch this, I'll post it before and after, but it's two different markets. We shall see. So I'm going to leave you guys be and have yourself a wonderful weekend. And I'm on my way to do another video on ETNs.